guys, and welcome back. You join me for the second part of the installation of the Gate Warfet AEG control system. Let's go. Here's my setup. I've got my soldering iron just here off the camera. Got my little soldering iron scrub, solder. I've got some heat shrink, the Warfet which we're going to be installing, and obviously the AEG gearbox trigger unit that we're going to be installing it into. So the aim is to get the micro switch. So the aim is to get the micro switch contacts off and to get the very tiny, very delicate signal wires connected to the micro switch of the AEG. So here we go. I'm going to try to be as tactful as I can, trying to solder and record at the same time, but hopefully this won't be too painful. So let's get into it. So firstly we need to remove the trigger contacts. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat to the contacts to remove the wires. Try to get this steady. There we go, that's one. So there we go. We've got the primary trigger unit contacts, primary wire contacts to the trigger unit removed, and now it will be the job of getting the tiny signal wires connected to those same points. I don't believe it's necessary to have the signal wires connected in any particular way or fashion, positive to negative, negative to positive. As long as the signal is complete, it should talk to the Warfet. The first thing I'm going to do, before I forget, is get me some shrink wrap tubing over the signal wires, because I don't want this to be loose, because the signal wires aren't actually connected in any way, they're not joined together. I need them to be a little bit tidier than just loose in my AEG. Well, that's what I want. So I'm going to take a long piece of shrink tubing. What I'm going to do is slide that all the way down so it doesn't fall off and I don't forget it, the signal wires. So later on, when I come to finishing it up, I can just have a bit of a tidier configuration inside the AEG of the signal wires. So I'm just going to put that to one side. Something which I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to splice these two positive wires together so that the signal will be complete. Okay, so that's the wires spliced together. Not the prettiest job, but that's going to work. So next we need to install the signal wires. you go. Signal wires have been installed, and the direct feed from the battery into the motor. Let's plug it in and see what happens. Actually, before we do that, we need to reprogram the MOSFET to actually accept the modified wiring, because that's the stock wiring where you just plug and play. This is the modified wiring. So there we go. Plugged in. So there you go. We've currently had it on stock wiring for semi and burst. Take it. Ooh, need to get it back. Hold on. So that's now modified wiring, semi and full auto. I want semi and burst. So there you go. I've got my signal wires plugged in. Going to connect to the battery. Doing something already. Okay, let's pull the trigger. Did something. See what I mean about messy wires? This is why I wanted that shrink tube, which I haven't done yet. So that is set to full auto. Burst. I'll push that back. That's semi. Or it might be full auto. That's full auto. That's semi. Okay, so I might need to tweak the settings, because it's currently doing burst and burst. Okay, so I've sorted it. There you go. It's all wired up. The Warfet, signal wires, wires to the motor. Single shot. Burst shot. So there you have it. That's how you fit a Warfet. This is pretty much my setup for what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be installing the signal wires which I've lost. Where the fuck did I put them?